right,
I don't know if
Numi.
that was like.
Yeah, what's up, Shoto?
Oh no, I was just saying like I don't know if that was gonna. I mean, I asked to hear it though. That's on me. I
Okay.
want to know the traumatic one.
All right.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, we'll go on to Numi then. So Numi, did you get hit by a car?
No, but
Okay.
I have a similar kind of story that
Okay.
relates to cars.
Cool.
Oh no,
Yeah.
not this
Did
one.
you watch
God
the
damn
Cars
it, Numi.
movie?
All right, no. So basically, this was
Fuck.
last year. I'm a different woman now, but back then I was a lot more naive and silly. And granted, it was early in the morning. It was an early flight. I had an early flight to go over to New York because I wanted to watch a K-pop concert because you know I was a groupie girl, and I fly over, but my flight was at like 4 in the morning. So I didn't get to New York until like the afternoon, but it was an early flight and I was really sleepy. So I just slept the whole flight. I get over to the airport and I'm like half awake. I don't really know what's going on. I had to meet up with some friends, but I had to make it to my hotel room first. And this is among one of the first times I traveled on my own very far, like a far distance. So I thought I would be okay. I thought I wouldn't make any mistakes. And so I said to myself, okay, now we just need to get a taxi and go over to the hotel room. And so I'm walking over, trying to head over to the taxi area. And some man comes up to me and says, hey, you need a taxi? And before I could really comprehend what was going on, he took my bag and just kind of started to usher me to go with him. And because he was near the taxi area, I just said, oh, okay, he must be the taxi guy. And so I followed him into a white van.
No,
Fuck,
there's no
Numi.
way you
I
get
remember
in.
this from last year, and I had to
didn't-
yell at her about it.
Numi.
I didn't even realize what was going on until I sat in the car and noticed that there was trash from yesterday's McDonald's in the car, wrappers all over the floor. And then I kind of looked up and said, oh, and then the door closed and he started driving with me in the car.
What?
And so I at this point said, well, this is it for me. And so I started texting my friends and I was like, hey y'all,
Just gave up.
I think it's over for me. And they said, what the fuck do you mean by that? And then I was like, well, girls, I seem to have made a mistake. And so I was basically tired by then too. So I started falling asleep in this taxi.
What?
But the guy,
What is going on?
Taxi in quotations. But I thought that he was like, I thought he was nice because he asked me how my day was and how the flight was. So I said, oh, surely it's fine. But, you know, it was not a taxi. And I was scared. And then everybody thought I was going to die. I was texting in my Discord, talking to my chat, my Noombas. And
You were
then
talking to your chat before you died.
Bro.
yeah, I was like, y'all, I
That's-
think it's over for me. And they said, what the fuck do you mean by that, Numi? And then eventually, when we get to where I'm supposed to be, he says, yeah, this is going to cost you $200. And I said, ain't no fucking way. And so I have him take me to a bank. And so I get out and go to the bank. And right when I go into the bank, a police officer comes between us and says, you know this guy? And I said, no. And then the guy looks over at us and says, you owe me money. And I said, I'm not giving you 200. So I settled on giving him $130. And then he dropped me off on some random sidewalk. And so I FaceTimed my dad all the way until I got to my hotel room. And ever since then, I decided to be a lot more cautious. Went to New York a few weeks ago and I got into a regular taxi. So, you know, we live and we learn, but
And
that
then you
was
paid
very
130
scary.
anyway.
You
Yeah.
told me
Yeah.
the story, and I was yelling at you
What
for a
the
good
f- I have
30
chills.
minutes.
That's an epic Rick and Morty level tier adventure song.
That's so scary, bro. What the hell?
Hey,
Yeah.
just saying because of Joel and Numi, I'm gonna tell the funny one. I'm gonna.
All right. Okay.
If I get in the
Wait,
bottom
wait, but
three, I'll
Kuro's
tell
up
my dog
next.
story.
Surely we won't get traumatized. What are you thinking, Kuro?